Are you a beginner music producer or want to become one? Do you have absolutely no idea what to do? That is also how I felt when starting out, but don't worry. I will show you 11 tips I wish I knew so that you don't waste your time. The first tip is to just make a song. You don't need to watch a tutorial, you need experience. Yes, you should learn more eventually, but you wanted to make music, right? The important thing is to just get started. Open up your DAW, put a timer on for let's say 1 hour and see what you come up with. Having deadlines makes you do more stuff, so put a deadline to finish the song that you just started tomorrow. It might sound like too little time, but you shouldn't overthink in the beginning. Just get started. Secondly, I want you to learn all the effects. When I was a beginner, I had no clue how to use these, and I just concentrated on my sound choices and my arrangement. That is fine, but I would have made even faster progress by learning these effects you see on the screen right now. Try learning at least one of these effects every week and use them in your songs. I also wish I had downloaded some free plugins when starting out. This includes effect plugins and VSTs. I will link a playlist of videos in the description where I go over some free plugins that you can download. Stock plugins are great when making your first few songs, but eventually it will get boring. Downloading quality plugins will elevate your songs to the next level. I would say that VSTs are more important than effect plugins because no amount of effects will save a bad sound, so focus on getting good sounds first. However, nice plugins won't matter unless you learn some basic music theory. I want you to learn what a scale is, how to build triads and seventh chords, and how chord progressions work. I remember watching this video by Andrew Huang to learn music theory. Learning basic music theory is crucial for any musician, so please learn it. It's not that hard. Next, I want you to copy others. Yes, really. Others in this case being professionals. Listen to some tracks by your favorite artists and try to implement some of their elements to your own production. Sound choices, arrangement, how the vocals sound, anything you can think of really. However, do not be discouraged when your songs don't sound the same as the pro songs. That is to be expected. All you're doing is learning the foundations, and by practicing a lot, you will eventually get to their level. You shouldn't worry that your songs will sound unoriginal. You will naturally develop your own style as you make more music. For example, I use piano religiously in almost all of my tracks because I just love the sound of it. Next, I want to talk about my process when making any song. I wish I had a process when starting out because I would just stare at my DAW, not knowing what to do. Firstly, I focus on getting a 4-bar loop that sounds amazing. I want you to try to get nice sound choices because no amount of plugins will fix them in the mixing process. Also, focus on making the loop simple. Overcomplicating usually leads to garbage, so avoid it at all costs. In the 4-bar loop, you can put chords, melody, bassline, vocals and drums and maybe some sound effects. This loop with all the instruments usually becomes the chorus, but we will figure that out in the next part of the process. Take your loop and move it forward in the timeline. Then take 1 or 2 elements from the loop and put it in the beginning. This is now the intro. From here, you can make a verse and a second verse and a second chorus and so on, but I always start like this to quickly get started. Now that the arrangement is done, you want to make it really special. You can achieve this by making great transitions which are between parts of a song. To make transitions, you can use for example risers and drum fills. The most impactful way to use transitions is right before the chorus. To make the chorus sound louder and better, you want to contrast it with something before. It could be that you make everything silent and suddenly go into the chorus, or use a low pass filter effect right before. Your song won't sound loud if it doesn't also have silence. Experiment by taking out instruments in some sections and notice how your song might actually become better. Static tracks are boring and automation is the solution. Use it to change, for example, the volume, filter or reverb. I often use automation to enhance my tracks, but you can also go crazy with it and put automation on the master bus. I use automation on basically every second of every song. Another way to enhance your songs is with sound effects. These could be risers, impacts and random sounds. Just like automation, sound effects are mostly for improving your songs slightly in specific spots. In theory, the more you use them, the better the song becomes. One more way to make your arrangements beautiful is with texture. This could be noise that quietly plays throughout the entire song. Just take a crappy microphone and just record your room in silence. Put that into your DAW and turn up the volume, and now you have some background noise. This makes your songs feel more realistic and adds depth. To make your tracks feel even more alive, you should use compression and saturation. You can use these on individual buses and your master bus. These effects glue your instruments together, making the song sound more coherent. When putting these effects on the master bus, you want to blend it in just a little bit, because it does affect the entire song. If you take a compressor and you blend the compressed signal with the uncompressed signal, that is called parallel compression. This is how you get a tight punch without killing dynamics. You can use it on drums, vocals, synths and the master bus. Saturation adds extra harmonic content to your tracks. If you want your music to sound good, put it on everything. When making your songs, you might make some amazing sounds. You want to save these and over time build your own sample pack. The sample pack will have your unique sound. These come in handy when you don't know what to do and just drag a cool sound into your DAW and just experiment. You can also save presets on plugins, synths and mixer tracks. This saves time, as you don't have to make things from scratch every time. Also, do not delete old tracks. In the moment you might feel like shit when you made a bad song, but in every song there is something good. Make a folder where you save all your bad songs and check in there every once in a while. The last tip I have is to join a community. It took me a while to do this, so I did everything in the beginning all on my own by watching YouTube tutorials and Googling. I now realize that this was a mistake. By sharing songs with others and getting feedback, you improve much faster than by yourself. To get yourself started on your music production journey, you can find out common mistakes that beginners make and how to avoid them by watching this video.